Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Mic check. This is the morning announcements with Bomani Armah on July 27th, 2023. We are pouring libations for Arnold Hedgeman, learning about the 4 ways to rhyme, and being introduced to Shout Mouse Press. Make sure to like, share, follow, and subscribe. Go to the video details for links to anything discussed in the show. Let's get started.
1 2 1 2 3 4. Welcome everyone to the morning announcements. I'ma say my name so you can pronounce it. Bomani Armah. Shout out to early risers, I see who you are. My morning ritual, thanks for having me over. Start with audio visual dose of Sankofa. My favorite occasions a few moons away. I'm counting rotations to watermelon day. If you're with me this morning, I hope that you're with it. 2 things that I want and 3 ways to get it. Black solidarity, African independence. Honor the ancestors, prepare descendants. 3rd thing you gotta do is love right now. I mean that in every sense and every way you know how. Now throw them up and say what should increase on 1 2 3. Peace.
Alright, let's do the mic.
1 2 1 2. Mic check. Welcome to the morning announcements with Bomani Armah on Thursday, July 27th, 2023. I am Bomani Armah, and we are 9 days away from Watermelon Day at Sankofa. We are here to honor the ancestors, prepare the descendants, and love right now. Make sure to like, follow, share, and subscribe on Facebook and YouTube. Shout out to my partners broadcasting the morning announcements, including Bloom Bars, Story Tapestries, and Sankofa Video and Books. Let's get to go to the link in the description to find out more information. Let's get to today's libation. Today's libation is for Arnold Hedgeman. Arnold Hedgeman, July 5th, 1899 to January 17th, 1990, an African-American civil rights leader, politician, educator, and writer. Under President Harry Truman, Hedgeman served as executive director of the National Council for Permanent Fair Employment Practices Commission, having worked on his presidential campaign. She was also appointed to the cabinet of New York City Mayor Robert F. Wagner Jr., becoming the first African-American woman to hold a cabinet post in New York. Hedgeman was a major advocate for both minorities and the poor in New York City. She was among the organizers for the 1963 March on Washington. Let's read this quote from Arnold Hedgeman. "We will not rest until there is justice in our beloved country, and we know that as justice comes to all Americans, it will come in increasing measure to the rest of the world." Let me read this again. "We will not rest until there is justice in our beloved country, and we know that as justice comes to all Americans, it will come in increasing measure to the rest of the world." Arnold Hedgeman. America is the world's most powerful empire. That is why when we make progress here towards equality, it ripples throughout the world. Hedgeman was determined to be the heaviest pebble dropped into this pond. In researching her, one of my favorite stories is of her insisting that women be acknowledged and get to speak on behalf of other women at the March on Washington. Even if she couldn't get in front of the camera, she was going to get into someone's ear and make sure that they knew what was just. That was Hedgeman. Now we should pour a libation for Hedgeman. We never forget, so never fear. For homies who ain't here, we pouring out a beer. Because of you, it'll never be the same. We keep saying your name while we pour champagne. For the mothers and the father figures, your flame still flickers. We pouring out some liquor. We're the sons and the daughters of heroes and martyrs. Honor you by pouring out some water. Friends, today's libation is for Arnold Hedgeman. Thank y'all very much for tuning into the morning announcements. Like I said, we are 9 days away from Watermelon Day. That is Saturday, August 5th, 2023. From 3 p.m. to 8 p.m., it is our annual celebration of summertime, watermelon, and everything red, black, and green. This is going to be a family-friendly event at Sankofa Video and Books on 2714 Georgia Avenue. Come through, bring the entire family. We are promoting Watermelon Day and supporting Watermelon Day by selling these Watermelon Day t-shirts featuring the artwork of James and Zudeka Terrell. Go to the website, go to the link in the description to find out more information about it. Plant a seed into Watermelon Day. Definitely need your support. You can find all the Watermelon Day related merch at notarapper.com. I'm really looking forward to seeing y'all there. All right, friends. So I was telling you a little bit of the stories that I've learned about Anna Arnold Hedgeman as I've been researching this libation. If you haven't noticed, I make sure every week I recognize at least 2 women. So it's 2 men and 2 women every week when I pour libations for our ancestors, Africans and African Americans who helped push us forward. Being able to keep 2 women every week has been a task because of how society and culture and history is told. The story of women is sometimes harder to dig up, but I've been dedicated to that. Sometimes their birthdays don't land exactly where the week is, but I need to make sure that we even this out. That is something Anna was passionate about herself, and I'm gonna let you hear her speak in her own words as we play this bit of a PBS documentary in Minnesota recognizing Miss Anna Arnold Hedgeman.
She ended up as a principal organizer, director in the Harlem branch of the YWCA. Paul Robeson, Du Bois, Langston Hughes stream through these places. You get a sense of the kind of excitement and the kind of opening up that the Harlem YWCA provided for her.
Anna Arnold, who married Merritt Hedgeman in 1933, continued to break through glass ceilings in East Coast government and social work. At times, she wondered if a woman from a sleepy Minnesota parish could be a black leader in the world's greatest city. Anna was more than able. She supervised depression relief in New York slums. She directed the National Council for Fair Employment Practices. She represented the U.S. State Department and worked with the UN. She was the first African-American woman appointed to a New York mayor's cabinet, and she would become one of the founders of NOW, the National Organization for Women.
America has bottled up the Negro.
Anna Arnold Hedgeman's years of social service and political work made her a natural leader with the growing civil rights movement in the 50s and 60s. But she met resistance from men.
Every interview I had, I was asked if I could preside over a group of men. My answer was I thought it was entirely possible. Men have begun to mature.
Anna was always able to disarm with charm, but her frustration with the movement's focus on male leadership came to a head while working on the historic March on Washington. She was the only woman on the Central Planning Committee, where she learned that women were left off the list of speakers.
In light of the role of Negro women in the struggle for freedom, it is incredible that no woman should appear as a speaker at the historic March on Washington meeting at the Lincoln Memorial. I would like to make the following suggestion: that a Negro woman makes a brief statement and presents the other heroines. I hope that my memorandum will receive careful consideration.
The men simply had no choice but to follow Anna's orders.
What she did in the backstage of the March on Washington was a kind of leading position for other black women who would take similar stances over the course of the next decade.
Thank you very much. That was a documentary, a segment on a documentary on leading African Americans from Minnesota, which is where Anna Hedgeman is from. And they detailed some of the things that she did to be a part of the civil rights movement. Thank you very much to that sister, that mama, once again. That's why we poured libation for her today. All right, now, friends, I want to give you a little bit more information about what I do, Baba Bomani. All week, I've been telling you about the Frederick Douglass Writing Club. I really haven't gotten into the Frederick Douglass part of it yet, more into the MC rap writing process stuff, but I definitely want to touch on Frederick Douglass even more. If you haven't been listening or watching in the news, we're getting into a big debate on how slavery should be taught. And sometimes people use Frederick Douglass's story and misconstrue exactly what happened. He was not blessed by learning reading because of slavery. He learned how to read despite being enslaved. What little bit about reading that he learned from his mistress was completely an accident on her part. Everybody around her has said as such. But Frederick Douglass's story on how he learned how to read is a story of Black resiliency. It's a story of Black struggle. It's a story of Black independence. It is not a story about Frederick Douglass being blessed to be born into slavery where he could learn how to read. I just need to make sure that it is said out loud, because I know people are misconstruing it now, and it is really disgusting to be able to talk about Frederick Douglass in those terms. All right. Now, when I teach my class, the Frederick Douglass Writing Club, the initial class was 12 boys from the Homeschool Collective, mostly know them through Sankofa Homeschool Collective and Little Genius Homeschool Collective. We took them on field trips everywhere here in the DMV to discuss Frederick Douglass. This is me taking the boys to Frederick Douglass's house. I'm going to get into that a little bit more over the next couple of weeks. But one of the main things that I developed from working with these students on this initial project was understanding how to use the 4 elements of hip hop to talk about writing, creative writing, writing rhetoric. So I make sure everybody knows about the 4 elements of hip hop. And we know about what I call the 3 R's of education: rhythm, rhyme, and repetition. Rhythm, rhyme, and repetition is why you have songs stuck in your head from 15 years ago that you don't even like, but are still stuck in your head. I show students how to use those powers for good. And to do that, we do the other thing that I want to be famous for is my definition of rapping. Rapping is the art and engineering of language divided by math. All right, I'm going to say that again. Rapping is the art and engineering of language divided by math. Now, friends, the other thing that I need to make sure all my students remember are the 3 rules of creative writing. The only answer that's wrong is the answer that's blank. Writers don't make mistakes. We make discoveries, and do not edit in your head. The song that goes along with this is available at babagotbars.com. You can find more information about it. I also make sure my students understand a well-written essay resembles a well-written song. They both have main ideas. They both have supporting details. Now, once we've gone through all that stuff, I give them the example of me bragging about myself, which is the #1 job of a hip-hop MC, is to brag about yourself and where you come from. All right. In order to make sure my students can do that, I supply them with what's called the writing journal. Oh, this is in mirror, so you can't even see it correctly. Hold on. Let me bring it up on this screen here. Boom. So I need to make sure that my students can follow along in my process. So I give them my writing process journal. It is blank on the front. After you've gone through the whole process, you're supposed to come back and write your name in graffiti. It gives you step-by-step instructions on how to write your rhyme. Where we left off yesterday is we created a mind map. In this mind map, we have our main idea, which is your name and place. We're doing a classic hip hop rhyme, which means you're bragging about where you're from. So we need to know your name and your place. These are my names: Bomani, Bo, Baba, Watermelon Man, and the hip hop LeVar Burton. These are my places: PG, DC, South Carolina, Africa, Earth, and Milky Way. Now, for the sake of this demonstration, I usually have my students pick what name, but I'm going to pick the hip hop LeVar Burton as my name, and I'm going to pick Africa as my place. All right. Then I go to the next page, and let me read and break this down for you, because I tell my teachers, if we get this far in the process, we've won. I consider my workshops, my residencies, to be medicine mixed in with the sweet potatoes. Your students don't even notice that they're learning, that they're expanding their vocabulary, that they're fine-tuning their ELA skills. All they notice is that they're having fun writing a rhyme about who they are and what they are to their community. So let me read for you what this says. Now, write the keyword 1 and keyword 2 in their corresponding boxes on page 11 on rhyme tree 1 and 2. The next assignment is to find as many words as possible that rhyme with the keyword. Here are 4 ways to rhyme to help you fill up the rhyme tree with words. 1. Real rhymes. Words are lines of poetry that sound the same at the end because they end in the same letters: cat, hat, bat. Near rhymes. Some might call them slant rhymes. Rhymes in which the words sound somewhat identical, as in eyes and light. All right, they have different letters at the end, but if you say them the right way, they are near rhymes. Mispronouncing words. I like to call this putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable. One can change where they emphasize the word, change the long vowels to short, or slur endings of words to make them rhyme. This is a classic way of rhyming, as you can see by reading any of the sonnets of Shakespeare. The fourth way to rhyme. Make phrases into words. Sometimes what seems to be compound word can be made from smaller words to make them into rhyme words. For example, your mom and them is often shortened to one word, your mom and them. Another example would be the rhyme word Mexico with the phrase, let it go. So I love giving my students more examples of how they could rhyme like this. I am now going to play for you the 4 ways to rhyme. I was just talking about this song. We're working on my son's resumes for college. And I had to remind myself that they have professional songwriting credits. They wrote the beat and helped me with the chorus on this particular song called The 4 Ways to Rhyme. You'll hear the voices of 12-year-old or 13-year-old Olu and Dela, my sons. This is called The 4 Ways to Rhyme. Friends, let's have some fun. Baba Bomani, BabaGapBars.com. Olu and Dela on the track. 4 ways to rhyme.
The 4 ways to rhyme. Brainstorm, use your mind. All the words you'll find. The 4 ways to rhyme. The 4 ways to rhyme. Brainstorm, use your mind. All the words you'll find. The 4 ways to rhyme. First way is using real rhyme. These are the kind that you use all the time. The kind of rhymes you might read in Dr. Seuss. With the same in the letters like loose, noose, or goose. Or same in the sound, no matter the letters in use. You can rhyme words like caboose and reduce. With the skills I introduce, you don't have any excuse. You can get loose off the rhymes you produce. You got the flavor and the juice. You're the ace, not the deuce. Rain on thunderous rhymes like a lyrical Zeus. The 4 ways to rhyme. Brainstorm, use your mind. All the words you'll find. The 4 ways to rhyme. The 4 ways to rhyme. Brainstorm, use your mind. All the words you'll find. The 4 ways to rhyme. Second or near rhyme, some call them slant. You can rhyme this way, don't let them say you can't. Different letters at the end, but a similar sound. Rhymes words together like crown, proud, and found. Make rhymes from the things you find around. When you find them, make sure to write them down. Then say them out loud as you go around town. At your 10th verse and nouns, possibilities abound. Brainstorming like a cloud, your rhyme skills are profound. Your rhymes will astound and the crowd will be wild. The 4 ways to rhyme. Brainstorm, use your mind. All the words you'll find. The 4 ways to rhyme. The 4 ways to rhyme. Brainstorm, use your mind. All the words you'll find. The 4 ways to rhyme. Put the emphasis on the long syllable. Emphasize the wrong syllable like fossil for fossil. Or change long vowels to short, whatever works for your ear. Find mispronounced words in the poems of Shakespeare. It might sound weird, but if context is clear, you could say I ran in fear through the forest from a beer. Then everyone will cheer, so your praises everywhere. You're an ill rhyme seer and a rhyme game player. If rhyming was a city, you'd be more than the mayor. Need a crown for your hair and a throne for your chair. The 4 ways to rhyme. Brainstorm, use your mind. All the words you'll find. The 4 ways to rhyme. The 4 ways to rhyme. Brainstorm, use your mind. All the words you'll find. The 4 ways to rhyme. Fourth, turn phrases into words. It might sound absurd, but it's something you've heard. Like make a word from the phrase out the door. To rhyme with hard words like Baltimore. Or ask somebody what you calling for. About to make a rhyme train, so all aboard. get answers on the floor while you're out on a tour. They want the rhymes you got in store, what you hoping for. The crowd wants some more, let all them pour like a rhyme Steph Curry, you're about to score. The 4 ways to rhyme, brainstorm, use your mind. All the words you'll find. The 4 ways to rhyme, the 4 ways to rhyme. Brainstorm, use your mind. All the words you'll find. The 4 ways to rhyme.
That was the 4 ways to rhyme. All right. After I send my students through the 4 ways to rhyme, we get into making our own rhymes by putting our names into the keyword box. So let me show you exactly how that works. The top box, I'm not going to put the whole phrase. Matter of fact, I will. Hip, hop, LeVar Burton. And then the place we selected was Africa. And then we have fun finding words that rhyme with Burton, curtain, certain, blurtin. If you're watching this video, I'm going to see this and come back to this on Monday. If you got words that rhyme with curtain or Africa, Burton or Africa, let me know. That is what I need next for this project. All right. Now, friends, I really appreciate the support that I've been getting throughout the country, throughout the world, taking this on the road. I'm actually going to Texas and Tennessee and Michigan, and where else have I scheduled to go? North Carolina, New Jersey, as always. Thank y'all very much. If you want to support your children with my music, make sure you go to Spotify, where you can find Baba Got Bars, my first album, including that song you just heard, The 4 Ways to Rhyme. You can also go to my website, babagotbars.com, and listen to my second album, which is only available on Bandcamp. I'm doing an experiment trying to figure exactly how to get to my audience the best. So definitely go make sure you check those 2 things out. I am completely blessed. I sit here in the basement and I concoct ways to get ideas and concepts and educate children and honor the. This is what I do in the basement. Honor the ancestors, prepare the descendants, and love right now. And I get phone calls and emails, and every once in a while I got to pack up my stuff and hop onto a plane or hop into my car and get a chance to go do that in person. And then I come back home and do the same thing, change some diapers, teach some kids how to read. And I'm really blessed that I have the life that I do. And I thank you, the audience, for doing that. If you would like to be a bigger support for that, I appreciate that. Make sure you go to babagotbars.com, find out more information on how to be a part of this movement. So one of the organization that calls me to do things is an organization called Shout Mouse Press. I'm going to be using this platform to just shout out the organizations that are working with the community. And so the founder, Kathy, and I don't know if Alexa still works there. I know she just released the book, so I'm not sure if she's still a part of it. But a couple of years ago, leading right into COVID, I was working with Shout Mouth Press, which is dedicated to centering and amplifying the voices of marginalized youth, age 12 and over, via writing workshops, book publications, and public speaking opportunities. The young people we coach are underrepresented as characters and creators within young people's literature, and their perspectives are underheard. By supporting them to write and publish their own books, we pass the pen and the power. The writers write books responding to the urgent needs of young readers, representative, authentic stories that foster community, expand empathy, and educate more just and inclusive next generation. You know, the biggest thing they say about reading is if you read, especially if you read fiction, you learn to be more empathetic. And so now Kathy and the people over at Shout Mouse are teaching young people from marginalized communities, Black and brown communities, immigrant communities, how to tell stories in their voices to increase the empathy for their communities. To let you know a little bit more about it, I'm going to play a video of them premiering one of their newest books. They release like 3-4 books a year. Shout Mouse Press is doing real work. Here, check this out.
You wrote books after one of the toughest times in our collective history. You wrote books after many of you have expressed feeling nervous or scared about writing. I want you to think about the future and how those who read your books, they will now be able to see themselves in your stories, and they too will feel more confident to tackle the things that they thought were impossible.
I feel very proud of myself. I'm very proud of what I did with Child Mouse and with all the people that supported me, like my teachers or my co-workers, also my teammates.
Seeing my book printed makes me feel happy and excited. Our voices is the most important we can have, and because with our voices we can make changes.
I want people who read my books to be proud of themselves and to show people who they are.
El mensaje que quiero que aprendan es sobre cómo empezar un libro y cómo tener ánimos, tener paciencia y todo eso hasta que logren sus sueños.
I want to keep writing more books, yes. I'm just very thankful for this great opportunity because since I have memory, I always want to write books, and now I have the opportunity.
I want to say thank you for giving us this opportunity.
Gracias a ustedes porque por ustedes hemos aprendido y terminado y sacar nuestro libro y todo eso, por apoyarnos siempre.
I want to congratulate all of you for becoming authors.
Boom. That was Shout Mouth Press debuting 4 new authors with 4 new children's books. These young people, this is their first opportunity writing a book for an audience. Hopefully it's not their last. And as a teaching artist, I want to shout out Kathy and the people over at Shout Mouse because they do a really good job of hiring working professional artists. Both the illustrators and the editors and coaches are working writers that use this as an opportunity to give back while being paid for what they do, because this cipher is what's most important. That older writers, veteran writers teach the young writers, and we're going to keep that cipher going. All right, friends, that is my show for today. There's only one thing left to do, and that's to play the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing, by James Weldon Johnson and J. Rosamond Johnson. Here we go. Friends, that was Lift Every Voice and Sing, the Black National Anthem by James Weldon Johnson and J. Rosamond Johnson. That is my show. Thank y'all for joining in. There are 3 things that I want you to do today. Honor the ancestors, prepare the descendants, and love right now. Friends, at the count of 3, I need everyone to say peace, throw up the deuces. I'll see y'all on Monday. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Peace. See y'all.
Hold it now, melon is sweet, the water is life. So every time we meet, I'ma give you a slice, cause I'm the watermelon man. I'm the watermelon man. I got the juice and plant the seeds. I reap the fruit and give you what you need, cause I'm the watermelon man. I'm the watermelon man. It's the watermelon man, reppin' red, black, and green. The county of PG sends you greetings from D.